Hey guys, welcome back to my channel, Happy Healthy Whole. I realized that all the videos that I posted so far, they're very heavy as far as the topics and what's happening. So I decided to share a funny story with you guys. It is surrounding a heavy topic, but hopefully it'll bring you guys a little bit of joy, because being joyful is a part of being happy and healthy and whole as well. So I don't want you guys to think that I'm all just tears and frustration and hard times. But anyway, my son and I, we used to live in China. And just so happened, we were living in China in 2012, the early part of 2012, 2011, the end of 2011 up into 2012. The first time that we went to China, we were there. And I know a lot of you know this date. And if this date really means something to you or is very heavy for you, I do apologize ahead of time. Because I am in no way making fun of this artist or making fun or making light of how she passed away. But this was the day that Whitney Houston passed. And I was in China and I had seen it on the news. They had MTV over there, actually. So I had watched the news and it was in English and I knew what had happened. And I was like, oh my God, I can't believe this. I was like, I was in shock for a minute while I was brushing my teeth, getting ready for the day. But after I had my moment and I prayed for Whitney and I went on about my business, on this particular day of the week, though, I was off from work. And a friend of mine, a couple that my son and I had met while we were living over there, had told us that there was this Burger King in this one area of China. It was in Tianhe was the name of the area. Where we were living at in Guangzhou, we had to get on 2 buses and a train to get to this particular mall that had this one Burger King in all of Guangdong province, apparently. So I don't know if any of you have ever lived overseas, but when you live overseas, sometimes you yearn for the familiarity of American culture, or just something that even if you don't eat Burger King a lot here, when you're here, it's the fact that it's a Burger King somewhere here. Girl, you got to take me to this Burger King. There were McDonald's and KFCs everywhere, but there was no Burger King. And y'all, I am a Burger King girl. I prefer Burger King over McDonald's. Sorry about it. Not sorry. Anyway, I was like, is it real beef? Is it real? Does it really taste like Burger King? Like, I was really excited. And my friend, she was from England. Her and her husband, they were there from Europe. And I was like, she was like, yes, it's a proper Burger King burger. See, I was like, okay. So we make this plan. We had to plan a week ahead of time, and we both had to plan on a date that we were both off. Because like I said, it took forever to get there from where we actually lived. So I was like, okay. So that morning I got up, I saw the news on Whitney Houston, and my heart went out to her and her family, her mom and her daughter. And I was just like, oh my God, I was in shock for a little bit, but I continued on. So I go to the bus stop, and it's so funny because my friend, like I said, they're from England. And she comes over and she tells her husband, Jay, let me tell her. And she told him, she was like, Jay, you stay over here. Let me go talk to T for a second. She comes over and she talks to me. She goes, T, I don't know if you know, but Whitney died this morning. And she just stood there and she just looked at me so intently. And I said, I know. I said, it's okay. I said, you talking about Whitney Houston, right? She was like, yes, love. Whitney Houston died Whitney Houston died recently, and I just want to make sure you're okay. And I said, I'm fine. I said, I didn't know her personally. I said, she wasn't my cousin or nothing. I said, she's just Whitney Houston. You know, she's just a celebrity. I was like, she was like, it'll be okay, love, if you decide to go to Burger King another day. It's fine. We don't have to go today, especially since Whitney died and everything. And I was like, girl, Whitney Houston's death ain't got nothing to do with this Burger King trip. I was like, tell Jay, come on, let's go. And she was like, Jay, she's fine. Come on. She said, let's go, love. And it was so random to me that she would think that I would stop my day all the way over here in China because Whitney Houston died. I was like, Whitney Houston's death ain't got nothing to do with this. I was like, I don't know her personally. And then in that moment, I realized British people and people from England, oh my God, me and this nose in this video. Last time my nose did that, I just went ahead and stopped the video. But anyway, what I realize is they actually grow very attached to their celebrities. Attached to the point to where they take the day off if one of their favorite celebrities die. And the world literally stops. It's like, and we all gave, Michael Jackson that kind of respect, and Aretha Franklin, and I'm sure there was a lot going on in America at the time when Whitney passed. However, I wasn't physically here. And I saw it on the news and I was sorry about it, but it just wasn't going to stop my day. I wasn't that connected. I'm not that connected to any celebrity to where their death is going to stop my day. It's going to break me down to the point to where I'll be like, can we do this another day? Whitney Houston died today, man. I just gotta take a moment and go sit down. Like, I was like, girl, I said, girl, I didn't know her personally, honey. I was like, and to take a moment to speak about substance abuse. I know that, it's a problem for a lot of people. A lot of people have issues with addiction, and they have them their entire lives. Matthew Perry passed recently. I don't know his toxicology, but I know that he struggled with addiction. And he was also in his 50s, just like Whitney, was in her 50s. And Michael Jackson was in his 50s, and Prince was in his 50s. And it's an issue. And so I'm not making fun of that. I'm just making fun of how I responded to her. I was just like, girl, if you don't bring your ass on here and get on this bus, we got 2 buses to catch and a train to catch to get over here to Tianhe, to get to this mall and get to this one Burger King. I was like, come on, let's go. And that's how I felt about it. And I make no apologies for that. But if anybody is offended about the fact that, the way she passed, I do apologize, but I make no apologies for continuing on in my day. And that's kind of how you have to do anyway. You have to, bad things are going to happen. They're going to happen to you. They're going to happen to your loved ones. They're going to happen to people around you, honey, but you have got to keep it pushing. You've got to keep moving. You've got to keep living, and you've got to keep experiencing life, whatever that means for you. And on that day, experiencing life meant going to Burger King for me. Don't judge me, y'all.